All right, so let's go ahead and start our first Python video. This is just going to basically explain how we can go ahead and set up our Python environment, and we'll create a basic script. So let's go ahead and start that. So first thing I'm doing, I'm starting up my terminal. Let's zoom in this, put it on full screen here. So first thing I'm going to do is run this command, and basically this command is going to start up a new Python environment for us. So I'm just going to run this. We're going to let that run. So now it's ran. And then we can just check and see what's going on right with the list. And we see right there, Python environment is right here. Right? So, all right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and navigate to that environment. And you can see here, you have the bin, you have the library, and you have your configs here for your Python environment. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change into my Python environment. That way we won't be inside our Rocky environment. So you'll see what I mean here. So what I'm going to do is run this command, and I'm going to start our Python environment here. So now I'm just going to clear this up so you can see what I mean. So now we have this new my environment here that basically tells us that we're now inside our Python environment. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is, and we can hit list here. We can see everything there as well. So I'm just going to clear that back up. So the next thing I'm going to do is basically I'm going to go ahead and prepare us to start writing our script. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a Python file. Well, I'm going to create a folder first. So we'll call this, let's just call this example. So use the make directory to make a new directory. We're going to call this example. So now we have our example folder here that we just created. And so we're just going to navigate to that example folder. And then now it should be nothing in there, which is nothing in there. So I'm going to hit clear to clear this up. And so now I'm going to create a new Python file so we can go ahead and start creating our script. So this one's going to be called, let's call this day one. So instead of just going ahead and calling it starting off with day one, we're just going to use the get, and I always forget this command, honestly. I think it's gedit, Gedit. And then we're going to say day. Now what I'm doing here, this is going to go ahead and do multiple things at once. So this is going to create a text editor, a Python text editor for us. And then we'll be able to go open up that text editor, and at the same time it's going to create our day Python file at the same time here. And then I'm going to run it in the background. So we'll be able to do two things at once. So let's see if this executes correctly. And it looks like it did. So our editor should be popping up. So this is our editor here. And then now I can simultaneously go here and let's see here. There we go. All right. And now I can navigate back and forth between the two. So let's see. And then I can just keep running it. make sure it gets here. Okay. All right, so just want to make sure that worked correctly. All right, so now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with just a comment here. So I usually just try to comment, and I just want to make sure that I'm telling you guys I'm no, Python guy or anything. I'm just a novice. If anything, I'm a rookie. So don't look at me like I'm some guru, please. So here I'm just doing a practicing if-else statements. So you just want to do a comment, just tell you exactly what's going on. So if you come back to the script, then you exactly know what's going on here, okay? So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and use the print command, and I'm going to say, welcome to the roller coaster. All right, let's close that up. And then by any chance, if you just want to look and see what you're doing, we can hit save, okay? And we can go back over here, and then to run our script, we can hit clear to clear this all up if you want to. And to run our script, let's hit clear again. There you go. And to run our script, what we're going to do is hit Python 3, and then remember our script name. If you forget your script name, you can always hit list here, because now it's already there now for us. But we can hit Python 3 day, and then I just hit the tab because so I don't have to type all that in. So now we just do that, and now this is what we have so far. Welcome to the roller coaster. Okay. All right, and then by any chance, just say, hey, look, I just want to look at instead of running the script, I want to actually look inside the script. So you can do that too. So you can hit cat day, same thing. And then we can see right here, this is our comment, practicing if-else statements. And then we can see here where we type print, welcome to the roller coaster. Okay. Now we can hit clear again. And now I'm just going to use the up tab here so I don't feel like typing in the same command again. So I'm just going to go up to what we did to get it. So get it. And then remember, we can open up our text editor here in the background. Text editor is ready. We'll go ahead and do this right here. Okay. All right, so now, next thing we're going to do, we're going to create a variable called height. And then we're going to make it an input so the user will be able to put in the height. And we're going to say, let's see here, what is your height in centimeters? And then we don't want the user to just type exactly right here, right? You want to put a space. So I'm going to space it, and then put quotations there, and then close your quotations. So now we got executing. We want to make sure everything's balanced. And then we want to make sure that the user is just typing in an integer and not just a letter, right? So we want to make sure the user types in something like 111 or 2 and not just A, B, C, right? So to avoid that and fix that, we're just going to add integer here, and then just going to close everything with the integer. There you go. So now everything is balanced and looking good. So then now we got to start with our if statement. So if height is greater than 120, and then we have to put our semicolon there, excuse me. So after we put our colon, we want to make sure that we indent. So hit enter, indent, and then now we're going to say print. So if the user's height is greater than 120, Then we're going to say, you can ride the roller coaster. Okay. Next thing we're going to say else. So if their height is not 120, we're going to use back. So we can put else here. And we're going to put another colon. And then we're just going to hit enter. Max that line here. So we want to make sure that your if and else match. There's a colon. There's a colon. You want to put your print statement. Make sure that matches there. So just in case their height is not over 120 in centimeters, I'm going to say, sorry, you have to grow taller before you can ride. All right. And then now we're just going to close that off and make sure everything looks good. And now this tells us it's not saved, right? This wildcard in front of the day.py, our Python file. So then we can hit save, and then now it goes away. So now we come back over here. You can type in the command again for the Python 3, but if you remember, we said Python 3, right? And then we hit enter. Now we can run the script. So, welcome to the roller coaster. What is your height? So I'm going to say my height is 1'1". Sorry, you got to grow taller before you can ride this ride. All right, so now I'm going to clear it up again, because that was the end of the script. So now I'm going to say, what is your height in centimeters? Now I'm going to say, I am 150 in centimeters. You can ride this roller coaster. And it's just as simple as that. Now you just basically created your first Python script from scratch. And now that concludes this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And I appreciate you taking the time to basically follow along with me. And I hope you learned something just like I did. And see you next time.